Hey everybody, thanks for checking this out. I'm gonna do a video on cleaning my pellet stove. Kind of done things in reverse a little bit filming, so I hope it comes out okay. So this is the stove. Okay, this is a stove. Actually, this is it already cleaned. So I'll show you what it looks like now. Just imagine it all full of ashes and everything. I'll go into a little depth of how I went cleaning it. I'll show you where it came from. So it's a Harman P45. So as you can see, this is where the stove usually resides. I've got another video showing me putting pellets during the winter time in it. It's as simple as just taking the air pipe, that's this one right here for the intake, and the exhaust pipe for the smoke, unhooking it from the back of your stove, and then I have a little elbow that goes in, and I pretty basically put it on one of these floor dollies and I wheel it outside to clean it out, because I end up using a few instruments and it's a little bit of a messy job, but I do it once a year. And let me show you what I use. Basically, I use just a regular shop vac, which helps get all the ashes out and does a good primary cleaning for everything. And then I use some of these other tools. So some of the other tools I use is, we'll go to the right, which is just a wire brush that connects to my air compressor via that little nipple. And that thing, I think, works the best. And then use a little sand blaster. You just put the sand and the material in here. And yeah, it works pretty good. And it gets more of a shine. Again, I hook it up to the air compressor. Can't forget the old reliable, just plain old wire brush, which really gets into some of the nooks and crannies and gets a lot of that creosote and the hard to reach places that other stuff can't. So definitely need that. And then last but not least, I have a, not too little, but it's a 26-gallon compressor, air compressor tank. You don't have to have anything this big, just any sort of air compressor. I find that gets to around, I don't know, if you get at least at 100 psi, you can do a pretty decent job of cleaning it out. This tank I can get up to 150. When I use about 100 psi, I can blow it out for probably a good 5 minutes before I have to refill up the tank. So yeah, any type of air compressor will do, but it helps out. And when you do put this together, and just expect a cloud of dust and ashes, probably about 20 feet in diameter. That's how much space you really need. And definitely wear your I wear earplugs or earmuffs silencers while I'm running the air compressor, because it is kind of loud. And definitely eye protection and gloves. I've got the material for the sandblast, so I'll show you that. Let me open it up. Okay, this is the sandblasting material that I use. It's just regular, it's a type of, is this non-silica? I forget. It's a slag abrasive product. Patriots Blast, and you get it at any, even like Home Depot, any hardware store or whatever. But yeah, I just put a little bit of this into the sandblasting gun and it works okay. Puts a little bit of a shine. Okay, now I'm going to bring you back to the stove and show you what I do to prep it before I clean it. Okay, so back to the stove here, and just check out some of the things that I do. I'll go around and back and show you what I do. This actually is where the air intake hose is to keep it from going, and down here is where the exhaust for the smoke to come out. So basically I just take off the back of it, and make sure if you're working back here, do not hit those components or the PC board. Stuff is going to fly out when you use the air hose to come through, and it'll get a little dusty. So when you do use the air hose in back here, just keep it a safe distance away and you'll be fine, so long as you don't have any leftover residue. And this is how clean this works for me, and I just do this like once a year instead of every week while I'm operating it. So I empty the hopper here, and then inside I take just a couple things out. This actually is the flame guide, and this actually comes right out. This is getting kind of old. You can see it's not fitting that well or coming out. But on this flame guide, you'll see it cracking. I might get one more season out. I do expect it to break in half. It's just cast. Not a big deal, only like 25 bucks. And like I said, I'll get another season out of it. I've got an extra at home just in case I need it. And this guide right here, you just take these wing nuts off and take this plate out. This is where the igniter lives. And you can kind of see some leftover crud I didn't get as well, but yeah, it's not that bad. It's not a brand new machine. This machine's probably about 10 years old. So it's clean enough to start it up for the winter time at this point. And then here's the little ash pot that we have. And I'll just show you that. Put that aside. And then we have this for the blower motor. You can just take this right out, and that piece comes off and you clean it up. And this gives you access to the blower motor and everything down here. Just vacuum it and airbrush it out, and you'll be okay. So I'm not trying to do this, hold the camera and do it one hand. It's a little tricky, but you can see even after it's been full of ash all winter long, after it's clean, it's still not assembled into the back. Yeah, just kind of clean the door. And actually, as far as the window goes, this does get all fogged up on me. All I really do is take Windex and just spray it on there, wipe it clean with a paper towel, and you're good. So this is it. I probably wish I should have shown you as I was doing it, but all in all, it takes a couple hours for me to drag it, and I've still got it on the floor dolly, and I'm keeping it out here until I clean up that hearth a little bit. So that's the Harman P45. Like I said, after a couple hours, you get it clean enough where you can use it for another season. And yeah, just make sure you wear your PPE and the headset and mask. Definitely put on a mask and eye protection, and should be okay. And so that's cleaning. Maybe I've got to take, let's see if I can go back real quick here. And what I want to do before I put it back and clean up this area is I'm going to take these hoses actually right out and bring them outside and take the pressure washer to them before I put them in. Because if you notice, I don't know if I've told you on one of the videos, but here's the outside of it. This is where it comes out. If you notice the tip of that exhaust pipe, I've got a little bag over it. That's because when I started it up this year, birds had made a nest in it last summer, and I didn't know about it. So when I fired it up this year, I was in the winter time, it just was choking. It would not exhaust, and it was backing up. So it was actually getting the stove black. So after trial and error, I found it. I took the pipe out and cleaned it. Good enough to get through the season. But you'll even notice how gritty. I have not touched this. This is how the inside looks. It's pretty crappy. And this is what the stove actually looked like inside before I cleaned it. So I'm going to take this off, pressure wash it, put it back in, put the stove back on the hearth, and she'll be ready to fire up for the winter. All right. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pull these pipes through the house outside, and going to go ahead and clean the inside of them. Let me see how cruddy it is. I'm going to get the pressure washer and really kind of make this better for the pellet stove. All right then, let me scoot up real quick and get that pipe. You notice I have a little plastic around there, plastic bag. It's because last year at this time, some birds decided to create a nest inside this pipe. And when I went to light the pellet stove this winter, it backed up on me and the smoke came in and it was really choking for air. So I removed the nest and I put this plastic. I'm going to go ahead and clean it now. Alright, basically I have the pipes out in the yard. You can see some of the dirt coming out of it in the driveway, and I'm going to go ahead and pressure wash it, just a regular pressure washer. This may turn into a little bit of a tutorial, but I don't know how many people have pressure washers that know how to hook it up. I've got this little Husky 26 PSI. Basically all you do with the pressure washer, you take a regular garden hose and you hook it to the bottom here. That's the inlet for the motor. And then this is the gun that we have in the gray hose. So that's basically it. You put the water, turn the water on at the house, and then start the engine. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of do that and wash it up. Okay, here she is already and hooked up, ready to go. I put the intake here, put that cleaned out, put that to the stove, and then the exhaust to the L. Just wrap it with a little bit of metal tape here. Keep it, and that's going on the side. I just got this cover to put on here. And just need to get a screwdriver and take that in. And then that will go in. I'll tighten that down with a screwdriver. And here she is, all cleaned up inside, ready for pellets. And like brand new. So there we are. That's how you get the pellet stove clean. So we'll fire her up in, I don't know, about 6 months or so. Yay! And there, the Harmon P45.